Hello, ladies and gentlemen. This is your first of two You Pick Tuesday matches. This is a very interesting one. Paul Dillett and Lee Priest, but swap their heights? Can you imagine that? Now, don't change the station yet. This is their original heights. I just did this for shock value. Paul is a beast. He's a giant. But this is going to be interesting, guys, because I often say this. Lee Priest has a big head. And Paul Dillett, known for a little bean head. So this is going to be funny. All right, here it is. Look at Paul. It looks like Lee Priest could reach over and, you know what I mean, pick him right up like a little baby. And Lee Priest, he's got the big head, so he kind of looks like a great big baby. He is a colossus. He is the Australian colossus, and this is a fun one, guys. There's no real judging of this one. I mean, with equal conditioning, a guy so much more massive, and that's the funny thing. When they were original heights, Lee Priest was pretty big. He was almost, well, not matching size, but he was almost catching up to Paul Dillett, and the width, the size, things of that nature, muscularity. So when you size it like this, I mean, Lee Priest would have been so dominant, nobody would have touched him. We'll have one back shot here, and this will be the last time that I show their original heights, because this was an actual on stage. I believe Dorian Yates was in between them. It was the small, medium, and large from behind, I guess. I just scooched Lee over. So Lee is legitimately, a tiny, tiny bodybuilder compared to this giant Paul Dillett. But like I said, thickness, muscularity, look at calf for calf. I mean, the guy's huge. Now, boom, look at that. Looks like a little action figure. Does Paul Dillett beside this colossus from Tasmania. He's not from Tasmania, he's from Australia. It's one he never talks about desktop bodybuilding. They're probably from Queensland, are they not? Anyway, like I was saying, the calves, look at the calves now. Lee Priest, so much bigger, muscle for muscle. Food for thought here, Paul Dillett had a pretty good back development in the standing relaxed. Anyway, go to the front double bicep pose, and Lee Priest, he is a giant. He is the Colossus from Bogger Road. Did he ever go to that? Was he in prison? I don't think he was in prison. Anyway, Lee Priest keeps his nose clean? Maybe not. Actually, this is, you know what I'm saying? This is a fun one. No sense of judging this one. I mean, it's pointless. So I'm curious. Let's have a look at Paul Dillett if they're the same size. Now that would have been an interesting comparison. I mean, these guys, physique for physique, pretty similar. Lee Priest, a little cleaner, a little neater in the shot, posing a little bit better, the posture, I believe. And the arms, look at the arms, mate. Never mind the physique, look at the arms. Huge, huge. Forearms, biceps, triceps, incredible. Now the front lat spread, I gotta laugh every time I see the little tiny head, Paul Dillett. I mean, at his size, he had a fairly small bean. But here, it looks like a little bunion. And Paul Bunyan. It's Paul Bunyan. Get it? A bunion head. Anyway, if you could see front on, I believe Lee Priest would be more symmetrical as well. Look at the quads on Lee. Imagine if this dude was 6'2", 6'3". I believe Paul Dillett, a little bit taller than he said. Anyway, Lee Priest, guys, dominant. Go to the side. And I mean, if there was any poses Paul was going to get an edge, it would be the side poses. I mean, look at the side chest on this man, even at this little tiny size. But then again, I said before, if Lee Priest was bigger, his side chest would probably be better than your Kevin Levroni's or your Arnold Schwarzenegger's, for goodness sakes. And it's plain to see, when he does have the size, the height, Lee Priest would have been unbeatable. Look at his waistline. Small, tiny, little wee waistline. And if we could see the legs, fortunately there was no legs in the pictures. Oh, plumb forgot. I decided to go with the 1997 of each of these guys because same lighting, things of that nature. Obviously not the best, not the very same in this one, in these comparisons. But anyway, on to the side tricep. And just as I was explaining, I was using the 97. Mr. Olympia, here's the Hungary version. But anyway, I'm pretty sure you guys with the keen eye, good bodybuilding knowledge of the history, you guys could say right off, oh, this is the 1997 Grand Prix Hungary. You can tell because of the lighting. And it's plain to see, not only in size, but a lot of these shots, I mean, obviously the size, but in a lot of these shots, muscle, quality, aesthetics, Lee Priest, he's winning altogether. Wouldn't even have been a question. You wouldn't even have to look at these two. And conditioning, Lee Priest was probably winning on that edge too. But Paul Dillett, nobody had any problem with his conditioning. I mean, the guy was vascular, striated, and turn around, he had glutes. The guy had striated glutes. And at his size, very, very rare. But he didn't really snap the shots very good. You understand what I'm saying? The back shots. I do believe that he could have if he was able to open up wide. And this is not the best picture for Paul Dillett. 1997 may not have been the best of the back shots, but I think an up-close picture would have revealed that he did have an edge in the conditioning of the glutes. But I mean, size for size here. Lee Priest would have had an edge anyway. I mean, the guy was wide as a barn door. Never known for a guy with glutes. But enough about glutes. Lee Priest, he hates that. He hates that conversation. Never mind the bottoms. Don't be looking at the bottoms. Who cares who has striated glutes? Let's have a look at the rear double bi. And I'm using a 1994 version of Paul Dillett. And this is kudos to Paul. I showed this one. So I was talking about the glutes. Have a look at those babies. Look at the conditioning of this man. This man was unbelievable. Not only did he have the size, the muscularity, but he was conditioned. Unfortunately, he wasn't consistent with this rear double bi. Actually looked pretty good in 94, to be honest with you. But his lower body, it was just a little too dominant. If you could see the rest of the pose, you'd see what I mean. I mean, calves included. The guy had lower body, some of the best in bodybuilding history. But even in this comparison, he'd be losing to Lee Priest. Size counts for something. Look at the size of the traps on this great big Australian. Turn around, we'll finish this one off. And I went with this one of Lee Priest. Probably not the most flattering, to be honest with you. Not much for striations in the quads. It just, they're both turned and tilted funny. I just cannot get over the size of the heads of these two. I mean, on an equal playing field, their original sizes, their heads, I think Lee probably had a bigger head, even starting off with. So make it bigger, make Paul smaller. It is a coconut versus an egg. I'm telling you right now. Lee Priest has a great big head, and Paul has a small one. Finish this silly comparison off. And like I said, guys, there's no judging this one. It would have been a close one anyway. Lee Priest might have even got an edge anyway. I doubt it. Paul is so huge with an equal, conditioning, muscularity. I mean, these guys are friggin' close. You know what I'm saying? Striations in the quads, good abs, good chest, conditioning. It would have been close. But here, with the heights reversed, the heights swapped, Lee Priest, he is your winner, guys. No doubt. But it's a fun comparison. It's not meant to insult Paul Dillett. It's actually just meant to show that his size, his God-given size, did give him an advantage. Of course it did. And that's why he was, gifted with that size and just unbelievable genetics. But Lee Priest, no slouch in the genetics either, mate. He was going when he was young. He was going when he was old. He still has an arm bigger than anyone's if he was 6'3". Anyway, guys, hit thumbs up on the You Pick Tuesday. Get your request in. Has to be the most popular one. The one with the most thumbs up. It will be played next week. Have a great day.